Alright, so this is my Articuno deck. This is the ancient trait Articuno. I'm only playing 2 copies of it, and then I'm playing 2 of just the regular Articuno, the Fine Ice version with the freezing wind attack. Alright, so the idea of this deck is basically to turn any non-EX into an EX, essentially. Of course, you're trying to win as fast as possible, right? So we have the Alpha Plus Ancient Trait Articuno, which has the ability that if you knock out a Pokemon using this Pokemon, take 1 more prize card in addition to your normal prize. So if you knock out an EX, for example, you normally will get 2 prizes because of the EX's ability, or ruling, I should say, and then you get an extra prize. So then you get 3 prizes for knocking out 1 EX. So if you knock out 2 EXs, you win because you just gain all 6 of your prizes, right? So that's just if you end up in a scenario where you actually do knock on an EX, deal it the final blow and knock it out. But you're not really aiming for knocking out EXs to win. You're trying to knock out non-EXs to win. You want to knock out any Pokemon that's 100 or less HP, preferably like 80 or less HP Pokemons, because you have the Tri-Edge attack, which does 20 damage plus 40 more damage for each heads you get, and you flip 3 coins, and for how many heads you get, you do an extra 40 damage. So if you give them Muscle Band, you're going to do 40 right off the bat, because 20 plus the Muscle Band's extra 20, so that's 40, and then for every heads you get 40 extra damage. So if you get just 1 heads from the 3 flips, that's 40 damage plus the 40 extra damage you deal with the Muscle Band and Tri-Edge already doing 20. So that's 80. So you want to hit something that has 80 HP or less, in case you only get 1 heads. But if you get fortunate enough to get 2 heads, then that's 120. So you can knock out any Pokemon that has 120 or less HP. So that increases your chances of knocking out a Pokemon and getting double prizes. And you just need to knock out 3 Pokemons in order to win. You could knock out an EX if you get 3 heads. It's just tough, but it can happen. You get 3 heads. That right there is 120 plus the 20, so that's 140. And then with a Muscle Band, that's 160. So you can knock out a couple of EXs here and there. Well, any of them if they're 160, right? Most EX I see are, like, as you can see, Lugia EX is 170, Evital is 170. But you probably dealt them damage already, so this would be enough to take them down. But again, your main targets are weaker Pokemons you can just one-shot, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to one-shot. We have Victini with Victory Star ability to give you the ability to increase your chances of getting at least 2 heads. You want to get at least 2 heads, because that's 80 damage plus the 20, so that's 100 damage for 3 energy. And then with a Muscle Band, that's 120 for 3 energy. So that's something you want to be able to get. This Articuno, because he has the ancient trait, he'll give you 2 prizes, of course, but you can't always guarantee this effect, and you might not even have Victini on the field to increase your chances of dealing, potentially 100 or 120. So then we have the Articuno with Fine Ice. The attack that will deal more damage, of course, is the Freezing Wind, which for 4 energies you can do 100 damage plus Muscle Band, that's 120. So right there you can guarantee 120 with this Articuno as opposed to the ancient trait Articuno. So if you're in a scenario where you need to deal 120, you know, or even just do 100 damage more than once, that we can do like 200 damage to a single Pokemon, this Articuno is a good backup, so that's why I have this one. Plus it has the Find Ice ability, which is for 1 water energy. Search your deck for up to 3 water energies, reveal them and put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So it's a good way of searching out your water energies. There's only 8 water energy in the deck, so you want to get to them as soon as possible, so you can give them to your Pokemons and you'll be able to attack and do your stuff, obviously. We got YUGIOH EX as our generic Evoltile, basically, right? This will also give us the ability to take down the Evoltile EX if need be, if played right, in the right order. You know, hit them, heal, hit them. You know, hit your opponent's evil. Plus, also boost up by adding more energy to your YUGIOH EX. You know, so you can hit that Evoltile EX right quick, and hopefully 2-shot them. And of course, you throw in a Muscle Band. That's the good thing about Muscle Band, is that since Muscle Band is not an energy, it won't increase the damage their Evoltile EX would do, but it will increase the damage you do, you know, by extra 20 damage. So that's a strategy, you know. Muscle Band, YUGIOH EX, energies, hit your opponent Evoltile and deal more damage than they deal you, and then you can just 2-shot them, which is typically what you end up doing, unless you've been charging up the YUGIOH EX in your bench, and then they brought out the Evoltile, knocked out one of your Pokemon, then you bring out your YUGIOH EX and knock out their Evoltile with 1 shot. As you see, there's only 2 Lugias in this deck, and they're the only 2 EXs, so even if both get knocked out, your opponent only gets 4 prizes. They still gotta knock out 2 more Pokemon afterwards, so there's not that many EX targets in this deck, so you might end up in a scenario where you're just using all the other Pokemons and they have to knock out 6 in order to win. While with Articuno Ancient Trait, you only need to knock out 3 Pokemons in order to win, right? He also has Deep Hurricane for 4 colors energy, or for any energy color anyway, doesn't matter, right? Does 80 damage plus 70 extra damage, which is 150 damage altogether, and 170 with Muscle Band if there's a stadium in play, and then discard the stadium card. So it's a pretty good attack. The ability to 1-shot an EX. That's the thing. If you get 4 energies on this, you don't need to do Arrow Ball to take out a Evoltile. You could just, as long as there's a stadium, and this deck does have a stadium of its own, which is Rough Seas, but if your opponent has a stadium, you know, it's even better. This can, you know, those 150 with a Muscle Band, that's 170, enough to take down your opponent's YUGIOH EX, his Evoltile EX, or any other 170 HP or less EX, take them down in 1 shot. So that's a very, very awesome aspect of it. So, you know, and taking down EXs, you know, increases your chances of winning faster. Then we got Lapras, another Pokemon for support, but also it's kind of like your pseudo, you know, Evoltile, you know, your baby Evoltile baby, right? EX, because it has the Hydro Pump, does 10 damage plus 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So if you give it 2 water energies so you can use the attack, it would do 50 damage because it does 20 for each water, and since you gave it 2 water, that's 40 damage plus 10 that Hydro Pump already does. That's 50. With a Muscle Band, that's 70. Maybe give it another energy, that's 90. Another energy, that's 110 damage, which ain't bad, you know. As long as you get to 100 or more damage, you can 2-shot pretty much any, you know, any Pokemon in the game, essentially. You know, you could take down a Mega. You know, they usually have 200 and something hit points, like 210, 220. So the fact that this could do 110, do that twice, that's 220. It could take down a mega under the right conditions, and that's what 4 energies plus muscle band. All right. Again, it's just a supporter, but the fact that it could hit high numbers, it increases your chances of winning faster, right? It has seafaring, which is for 1 water energy, flip 3 coins. For each heads, attach water energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon in any way you like. Of course, this helps you, since it's any Pokemon, not just water Pokemon. You can add the water energy to your Lugia EX and get him close to his Deep Hurricane, or just to get his Air Ball ability. Of course, you want to try to get the Tri-Age. You want to get enough energy on Articuno to do his Tri-Age ability, because that will increase your chances of, winning more prizes once you get him to do that ability, that attack. And you hopefully have Victini to increase your chances of hitting high numbers and hopefully one-shotting your opponent's Pokemon. We got the mighty Regice. Obviously, this is to help you up against Yveltal EX, Lugia EX, any EX, Mega EX. So it's a nice little defense for that aspect. I like Wailord. I'm a fan of Wailord, but Wailord, it's a big boy. He, it takes a lot of damage to take him down, but he still can be dealt damage, and he can be double shotted or triple shotted, right? And he can be taken down with enough time. So I like Regice because of the fact that, against an EX deck, especially if all the Pokemon my opponent has are just EXs, then that's just free knockouts for days, right? Because you just keep doing Resistance Blizzard, keep doing 70 damage with Muscle Band 90, right? Just keep hitting, bang, 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 every turn, and you'll, especially if you're doing 90 damage, that's 180. That's 180 in 2 turns. You can definitely double shot your opponent's EXs, and and win by that concept. So if your opponent has a whole deck full of EXs, he just gave you the victory, right? So that's why it's really nice to have Regice. You could use his Ice Beam effect. It depends in the situation, especially if you only have 2 water energies. You can just do Ice Beam, do 30 damage with Muscle Band, that's 50 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And paralyzed is a really good ability. I mean, the fact that we do have Victini, you do increase your chances of potentially paralyzing your opponent's Pokemon, which ain't bad in its own way. Especially with a Muscle Band, that's 50 damage. You can stall with that. Then we got, of course, the Victini. It's only for his Victory Star ability, so that increases your chances of when you flip a coin, getting what you want. So that's the concept of victory, right? To victory. Pokemon Catcher also requires coin flips, so because of Victini, that increases your chances of getting this effect off. The main point is to get your opponent's weak Pokemon into the active spot. So you got 4 Pokemon Catchers to help you get your opponent's weakest Pokemon in the active spot, so you can knock it out with Articuno, Ancient Traits, so that way you can, you can win fast, right? Muscle Band, of course, get that extra damage in there. You want to one shot as much as possible. That comes in handy. Sometimes some Pokemon have resistance, so they can reduce 20 damage, so it might make it harder to one shot. So Muscle Band helps deal with the Pokemon that have resistance, especially if they have water resistance. You might want to Muscle Band so that we can avoid that resistance. and deal a good amount of damage. Switch, so that way you can set up, especially if you set up a scenario where you're stalling with Regice long enough for your Articuno to have enough energy to one shot, potentially one shot, or trying to stall long enough to do Deep Hurricane, or just get enough energy to one shot a Pokemon with Lugia EX, and then just switch right into your Lugia or your Articuno, whatever you want, and then just one shot your opponent's Pokemon, get that prize. There's only 2 switches, because sometimes you might not want to just switch your Pokemon, you want to switch your opponent's Pokemon, so then you need Escape Rope, which increases your chances of messing up your opponent's plays, because sometimes if your opponent's active Pokemon tends to have more energy than his bench Pokemon, so this increases your chances of stalling, for you to get your combos, get your cards, get what you need, but also it increases your chances of knocking out a Pokemon, especially if you did a strategy where you retreated a Pokemon into your bench, not while you were dueling, and then you can Escape Rope. That way, they bring out a Pokemon into the active spot, and then you get to decide what you're gonna bring out. You can bring out the Lugia EX, and one shot something, or just bring out the Articuno and try to go for victory. Wait, somehow this got mixed up. Give me a sec. Alright, so I fixed the issue. Okay, 2 Crushing Hammers, flip a coin if heads, detach an energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. This is good for getting rid of any special energies or double colors, right? But just get rid of energy in general, slow down your opponent's ability to be able to retreat or to do an attack or whatever. Obviously, it's a generally good card. Professor's Letter. This lets you search out your energies. That way you can, give the energies to your Pokemon. Because there might be a scenario where, you do have Articuno, but you don't have energy to even use his Fine Ice. I personally wish his Fine Ice ability required no energy. That would be freaking awesome. But he does require energy, so having a Professor's Letter to help you guarantee you have the energy you need to even use his effect to get more, that combos pretty well that way, right? And once you get one energy, the rest is history, as it were, right? Because most of the Pokemon require one energy, like Articuno, Ancient Trait. For one energy, you can put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. And if they stay asleep, that's good. You stall longer, right? You got the Fine Ice. You got the Seafaring, which requires only one energy. And there you go. One energy is enough to get you moving, get you started, right? For Lysanders, of course, it's just like Pokemon Catcher. The only difference is it's not, you don't have to flip a coin. You just play a Lysander and just grab the Pokemon you want to knock out and knock it out. Pokemon Center Lady helps you keep your Pokemons on the field a little bit longer. Especially if you got something like, your Articuno taking some damage, you want to keep on the field longer so you can keep taking your opponent's Pokemon down, so you can keep getting those double prizes. So you're gonna need the 4 Pokemon Center Lady. Plus, also comes in handy against special ability conditions like sleep, paralyze, poison, confusion. All the different special conditions. So it's just a great card in general. Pokemon Fan Club. You gotta get your lineup. You gotta get your team ready, right? You gotta get what you need You know, get your Lugia EX, get your Regice. You know, so that we can start taking down some Evital's and some other heavy hitters and some Megas, right? But also be able to get your Victini and your Articuno, since you know that's your 2-card combo right there. Because you want to get Articuno with enough energy for Tri-Ice, and then Edge, and then use Victini's ability to increase your chances of Articuno Tri-Edge attack, you know, succeeding. Professor Birch's observation: shuffle your hand into your deck, flip a coin. If heads, draw 7 cards. If tails, draw 4. And with Victini, you increase your chances of getting 7. Sycamore can guarantee you 7, but you have to discard your hand in the process. It is also when you have no cards in your hands, because then you just get 7 free cards. Typically, I combo this with Professor's Letter, you know, after I already attached that energy, and that extra energy I get from Professor's Letter will go to the grave with Professor Sycamore's ability, effect. And then I can use Lapras to get the energy back from the grave and attach it to a Pokemon, especially if the Pokemon I attached the water energy to was Lapras. Then a Sycamore, my second copy of water energy, then I just use Lapras' ability to add that energy to another Pokemon, and that, you know, starts up my energy ramp, my energy accelerants, as it were. Then we got Zero Sick. Choose a Pokemon tool or special energy card attached to a Pokemon in play, yours or your opponent's, and discard it. This comes handy. I mean, it's rare because your muscle bands, you know, are muscle bands. You know, you don't want to detach your muscle bands, but you never know. Maybe for some reason you want to detach a muscle band, but you won't typically do it to yourself. You do it to your opponent, get rid of their muscle band, their hard charm, their focus stash. Especially if you're trying to one shot, you want to get rid of them focus stash. You don't want their Pokemon surviving. That just defeats the purpose. You're trying to take their Pokemon down. So focus, get rid of focus ashes and stuff like that is important. Special energies like double dragon energy, double colorless, fighting energy, and so forth and so forth. Any strength energy is what I meant to say. Any energy that would be problematic, especially if it's an energy card that would deal you damage. Like let's say you have Evital EX and he has only 20 HP, and you have 2 prizes. Your opponent has 2 prizes. You try to attack his Pokemon EX that has like dangerous energy, like let's say it's an Evital EX. You don't want it to be a double knockout, right? And then because you'll take 20 damage from the dangerous energy, and then y'all go into sudden death. You trying to win, so you know, use Zero Sick, get rid of that special energy, that dangerous energy, and then go for the win. Then you got Rough Seas, of course, 4 copies. This helps you get rid of your opponent's stadiums, especially stadiums that give your opponent a lot of advantages, like a Fairy Garden with all that free switching back and forth. Sucks because it makes your Pokemon catchers and your Lysanders, your Skate Ropes relatively useless because they can always switch back. I mean, what's the point of switching their Pokemon? You know, their strong Pokemon that has energy, and switch it back outright and put out one of their Pokemons that have no energy and has a high retreat cost, and then they'll be like, well, I just attached 1 energy and then I can now switch for free. Like, no, I don't want you doing that. So you want to battle your opponent's stadiums with your stadium. Plus, you know, you have the awesome ability of curing your water Pokemons, 30 damage each turn. If you're running an electric deck, you can also use it. One thing to be careful with is your opponent having any electric or water Pokemons or EVs. The EVs, they, you know, I've seen some decks where it's like it's a psychic deck, and then but they have, you know, they're evolving, like, you know, they have stage 1 Pokemons, and then my opponent summons an EV and then evolves into an electric type, and it's like, oh, okay, and then start healing the Pokemon. It's like, that's not good. So you run into scenarios like that. Moving on, we got double colors, of course, four of them. That helps you get your arrow ball and your deep hurricane out, active faster, because you only need 2 DCEs in order to trigger the deep hurricane with with the stadium in play. Muscle bang, boom, 170 one shot, whatever you need one shot. It's also useful for just getting freezing winds. That way you only need 2 water energies and double colors, and boom, in 3 turns you'll be able to do 100 plus muscle band 120. You can get resistance blizzard out in your second turn, you know what I mean? So especially if he's your active Pokemon, if you started the game with him active while your opponent had an EX active, and you went first, and it's like, alright, give it water energy, and then the next turn give it a double color. So now you can go into resistance blizzard and start dealing 70 to his EX, and not be able to get hit back. So that you can hit your opponents and not get hit back. No hit backsies, right? And 4 basic water energies, because you need them to attack. And that's the end of the deck profile.